This is a presentation of WCTV, all volunteer community access television from the Township of Washington.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Emily Kratzer, and welcome to WCTV, the all-volunteer public access TV station at the Town Hall in Washington Township in Bergen County, New Jersey. We welcome you tonight because we want to help Westwood, our neighboring community, celebrate its 125th year. We have special guests tonight representing the committee that is working on the plans. Let me introduce across from me, Martha Urbiel, Director of the Westwood Library, Mike Fitzsimmons, owner of the Westwood Gallery, and Martha Charanti, did I say that right?
Roseanne.
Roseanne! I'm hung up already. Okay, who's a member of the committee. Tell me how the idea for this celebration of Westwood's 125th anniversary came to be.
Well, the library, which I'm the director of, is celebrating its 100th birthday, and then I understood that it was the borough's 125th, and so I just thought it seemed like we should get together and plan our events so that it's not stepping on other people's toes. And turns out a lot of people are celebrating anniversaries this year, so we all got together and started planning a big one-day event to celebrate everybody's anniversary year.
Excellent.
A lot of events.
And everybody got on board. About how many people are on the committee?
100, I think. It feels like 100, but it's not. It could be 100.
It's about 15 at this point.
Yeah. That's a good working group.
Heads and representatives of.
Yeah.
I think there's from the mayor and council and the mayor's on it.
The mayor.
Yeah. 15 is a good working group for this kind of an event.
Sure.
Yeah.
It seems like every 25 years there was a 75th celebration. There was the 100th, which I have the book from. You know, they published a commemorative journal and things like that, and so we may be looking at updating that as far as the businesses go. And I think 125 is an accomplishment for almost any organization.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So let's go through some of the events that you have planned and hope to have come together. I know some things are still being arranged. Let's lead off with what's happening.
Okay, so the Westwood Heritage Society is going to kick off a week-long of events in June. On June 2nd, they'll have Westwood Pride Day, which is something that's been going on for a number of years now, right. And it's a fun day in Veterans Park. Then in the middle of the week, on Wednesday, the fire department is going to host a fun evening. The time and space is to be determined, but from what has been bandied around the committee room, it sounds like it's going to be a really fun time, especially for the younger members of the community. Good. And then on Friday, really excited for What's Your Story, which is the anniversary celebration for the Westwood Free Public Library. And there will be cake
Absolutely.
and activities and a program, and it's all coming together nicely, and we hope to solidify that in a few weeks, so you'll hear more about that. And then the Celebrate Westwood Carnival and Concert will be on June 8th. From 1 to 5 in Veterans Park, and we hope to have bouncy castles and crafts and activities and a concert in the bandstand. And it'll be lots of smaller bands, community groups. We hope to ask some of the dance troupes to come and fill in a lot of entertainment today, so it's a whole day's worth of activities. And then in the evening, which is really exciting, we're having a after dark block dance, which is something that the Heritage Society tells us has been was done in the earlier days of Westwood, where they would throw sawdust down in the Veteran Park Memorial Drive and have a dance all night long. So we're hoping to recreate that with a DJ and a family-friendly beverage garden.
Oh, I see, yes.
More root beer than craft beer, but
Yeah.
it'll be fun for everyone.
Yeah, right, exactly. Sounds like you've got it all planned so that there will be activities for all ages going on through the year, really, through the coming year. Here we are, starting out in January, planning, looking ahead. So there's a year's worth of events to look forward to.
Yeah, I think that's really important for Westwood, especially because Westwood is a Westwood for All Ages designation, which is initiative for the town to make sure that everybody can age in place and stay in Westwood as they age. And so having events that are intergenerational is very important and to Westwood. And so there are a lot of the events that we're planning are really for everybody to participate in. So
Yeah, exactly. And they get to, even if there isn't a special event going on, they can always stroll downtown Westwood because of the interesting stores and boutiques and restaurants. I mean, my goodness.
Well, I think that's,
that's your cue.
that would be my cue. We do have a logo that's been designed for Celebrate Westwood that would have how many years a business has been in town or in business. So Conrad's Confectionery, for example, is 90 years.
Wow.
So they would have a 90 with Celebrate Westwood and use that on their window. The oldest business in town is Westwood Grain and Feed, and they're from 1918.
Wow.
So they're 101.
Yeah, 101.
Wow.
So these are still businesses that are, you can stop in, and in a lot of ways, everybody loves Conrad's because it's like going back in time. It hasn't changed. We have a film from 1939, and it's the same Conrad's, more or less. Wow. They have soda jerk costumes. But so whether you're a business that's been open 1 year or 2 years, or in my case, I've been here 20 years. I'm a youngster on the block.
Oh my gosh.
The Iron Horse is probably close to 50 now or whatever. Yeah. So I think it's a way to show the longevity of not only the businesses, but the community that supports those businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. And all those businesses that serve, again, the intergenerational makeup of Westwood. There is a lot to offer there, absolutely.
Sure. So the library's event, the 100th birthday for the library's event, is an opportunity for the library also to kind of celebrate the 100, and also really encourage people to understand that the library is 100% for everybody. So that's kind of a theme also, along with the What's Your Story is our 100 for 100 theme, which is that the library is 100% for everybody in Westwood, and that we were looking for everybody to get their library cards, 100% of their library cards, and just making that a theme of the year as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of libraries, of course, but when I go in there, the offerings, the little children's section, the adult section, the reference section, I've heard foreign language, English as a second language lessons going on there. I've been to some of the special events, how to work an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, the number of things that you offer the community is phenomenal. Right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of, just not to jump around, but in terms of business and interchange with the library, for example, Westwood Gallery, Mike's Gallery, he had a artist in his store that he was displaying, and then that artist's work we might put it in our library so that we can share that relationship, and I think Westwood's really good for that as well. Just all the businesses working together and helping each other out. I think that's really present.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and being an amateur historian, and we really are amateurs compared to the Heritage Society, who you'll see a lot of their photos later. Helen Whalen in particular. I'm interested in the stories that people have, and what your story is, and those get documented,
Right.
because without it, you don't have it to pass on, and that's a big part of our collective story. So I think that project that you guys will be doing is going to be great.
So to touch on that, so What's Your Story is the theme of the library's 100th anniversary party, but it's also a resident history collection project that the Friends of the Westwood Library is kicking off. And essentially what we're going to do is ask people to come in and tell us your story, not just about Westwood, about how you came to Westwood, how long you've been here, what's your favorite thing about Westwood, what are your experiences growing up in Bergen County. So what's interesting, a little tidbit of a story, something funny, something you miss, really trying to capture what makes Westwood a unique place to raise your family and to continue to stay here and age in place, I think is what you said. And so we'll be setting up times when residents can come in, but we're also going to take written collections of stories as well and keep those archived into the library.
That's excellent.
So a little kid could participate with a parent. A middle schooler could write a short essay about why they don't like to return their library books. So we're trying to keep it light and humorous, but also really capture what's the essence of the residents.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having been in the library for a long time now, I've gotten to know a lot of Westwood residents, and there's a lot of really, really great stories. And we have not to focus on the senior group so much, but we do have a senior birthday that we do in April, and it's for 80 and over, and it's really well attended. And there's a lot of residents that age, and we really celebrate those that are turning 100. And I already have several people that are going to be we're going to be celebrating and vetting. So we really, definitely it's not too soon to get people's stories. Well, that probably sounded probably didn't sound great, but time is of the essence to get the stories.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And people love to be able to tell their stories, to add that perspective to what Westwood is and how far it's come. And the turnover, I've lived in this area since the middle 80s, and just watching downtowns grow and change, morph, it's fascinating stuff. The vitality of the community has never ebbed. It's always been good, When a business has to close, unfortunately, there's always something new that comes in and adds a new dimension, a new vitality to the community.
Yeah.
We're fortunate that way, I guess, from the beginning that, the railroad is kind of what brought everything into the Pascack Valley, and being a stop on the railroad line kind of has been an economic engine.
Speaking of which, there you go, 1907, I believe?
1907, and what people don't realize is that's on the other side of the tracks of where the train station is now, and you'll see two tracks going, so the trains could pass each other. The map I have there from 1924 that you'll see later has that as well. Yeah. So eventually there were houses on the right-hand side. They moved those houses, and then they moved the train station somewhere in the 30s and built the new Erie station there. So.
Let's go on through. We have a set of historic slides. Let's go on through those and comment on them as they come up. So what are we seeing here?
Westwood Avenue.
Westwood Avenue.
Yeah, which I guess is probably more possibly up towards the post office a little bit further up. It looks pretty rural. Initially, it was just Center Avenue and then moved on to Fairview.
There it is in 1910.
Yeah. Those buildings are still pretty much there. That's
Yeah.
right to the left of what's now Oratani Bank.
I love the cars.
I know, that looks really bustling there, doesn't it?
1920, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
traffic was, or parking was always a problem.
Now, is that a paved road or an unpaved road? I can't tell whether it's just the lighting or the color of the.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Sepia on
pitched
the
to me, I
thing.
would say. Yeah, it probably has some paving there.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, yes, the Oddfellows Hall and
Firehouse.
Firehouse in Westwood, yeah. Okay. Continental Hook and Ladder.
So it's the fire department's 100th anniversary as well. No, 125th.
125th.
Yeah, that was,
125th, yeah.
that was a 1914 picture. And this is Hook and Ladder Company?
Yeah, 1918.
1918?
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, my gosh.
That's how you fought fires.
Yeah, with the horse-drawn. What do
That's
we
it.
have here?
It's interesting to talk about the Westwood Fire Brigade as we're seeing these very interesting photos. There's a story about boroitis, which is, as you all may know, when Bergen County essentially blossomed
yeah.
with
towns and whatnot.
70 some municipalities.
Yeah.
Which is when Westwood was formed. Apparently a home burned down to the ground while two neighboring communities argued over who had jurisdiction to fight the fire. So there were a lot of the conflicts which were between the farmers, more agrarian society, and commuters who came in from the city to escape the pollution.
Yeah.
A lot of the disputes that were caused over services and wanting to be home governed is what kind of led to boroitis or boromania. And apparently 26 communities in Bergen County will be celebrating their 125th anniversary this year.
Wow.
Wow.
That is a pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is.
Woodcliff, there are quite a few
There's quite a
close
few,
to us, yeah.
Yeah. We had Ed Mataraki, who is known for his history of Rivervale area, come and talk to us once about how all that came about because of school districts and poor roads conditions and everybody wanting home rule, like you were just saying. So it ties in with everything.
Right.
Ties in with everything.
Yeah, still feeling the effects of it today, I'm sure.
Yeah, right? Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I and my family are city escapees. We've only been here a year and a half. And we chose Westwood because of its easy commutability. And also because of the hometown feeling that you get here. It's just really palpable. We were welcomed so nicely, and our neighbors were great, and I was welcomed to the library friends and have lots of stuff to do. And my kids are in the schools, and they're having great, really successful time and really flourishing. And all the things that we had hoped that we would find in a small community, we found here in Westwood. And so I'm really happy to be to be celebrating Westwood this year.
And you got put to work right away.
I know. I was going to say, she's going to flee out of here, right?
I did have some spare time. So.
Yeah. We were just joking before we came on air that how do you get involved in this? I don't know. Now I'm here.
That's right.
I was sorting books with the Friends of the Library, which is an amazing group of women. And tomorrow, just incidentally, is the giant book sale that the Friends host. Once a month, and not to dwell on the library, but they are the super friends. They put in so much work. They cull so many books. They make sure that there's a good selection out for everyone to come and choose from. They have really excellent prices. So there's no one in the community or neighboring communities who would have to go without a book if they choose not to use the library services, which are free. But the work they put in really does support the programs of the library. And they'll also be helping support the 100th birthday programming.
Speaking of supporting the 100th birthday program, I'll give the control room a little hint here. Let's go to westwoodcelebrates.com and .org, I'm sorry, celeratewestwood.org, and you can see there on that particular website, if we can pull up the website. Anyway, celeratewestwood.org has several pages, and people can look at them for opportunities to contribute, whether it's activities, sponsorships, and things like that. Yeah.
I think Mike is going to be working with the chamber.
Yeah, again, for that part of telling the business's story, how long they've been, as well as kind of updating. We have a list of every store on the avenue, on Broadway, and all the previous stores that have been there
Wow,
going back.
that's
that
great.
The Heritage Society compile. And so a lot of people want to see that updated as well. And originally we started an event called Taste of Westwood just from the Chamber of Commerce and working with the library that, you know, it's a way for the businesses to give back to the town. And it's always been a good relationship, you know, between the borough, between the town council, between all the government. So everybody seems to work with one common goal, you know, to work on the community. So I think this will be another community building activity, you know, for especially for the kids, you know, to see it come about.
Yeah, we've mentioned some of the organizations involved, and I know I don't want to leave anybody out, but we have touched on the library, we've touched on the gallery, the chamber. Is there anybody else, in particular, the Heritage Society?
The Heritage Society, it's their 30th. And like I said, they do crucial work in, you know, documenting and of course running Pride Day and actually a lot of the activities there in Veterans Park over the summer.
Yeah.
And they'll be having a historical display throughout the week. I'm guessing it will be mostly located in the train station, as is their custom, but maybe they'll also seep over into the library and some of the other venues as we start to flesh out our plans.
Right. Right now, I know you guys came here with notes. What have we not mentioned? What do we need to go over?
Amazingly, we've covered
I was
a
going to
lot.
say, I think
I think
we
the
got the
one thing
gist
we
of it
haven't
out
touched
there.
on is that, you know, as the committee solidifies more plans, we will be going out into the community and soliciting sponsors and donors. This is an all-volunteer committee.
Right.
And the activities that we'll be able to bring to the celebrations will depend on how much money we raise. So while we're hoping for larger contributions, we'll also be taking smaller ones, and nobody will be left out for celebrating.
Right.
We're going to ask restaurants to create prefix menus or special pricing, and in exchange they'll get their own logo, kind of look like this.
that they're taking part in
And
it,
it'll
right.
have, you know, their, is that good? It'll have
That's
their,
fine, yeah.
you know, it'll also have their celebration year in it. And so they'll be able to put that onto their outgoing packaging.
Right.
We're hoping that that'll encourage people to picnic in the park with their food coming in from the local restaurants.
Well, you're making me excited here, you know, restaurant week or restaurant picnic week, you know, pick up a little bag lunch from one of the restaurants.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Exactly,
oh boy.
that's exactly
Yeah.
the point. And but also, if you're a smaller business and you're celebrating your 1-year anniversary and you want to have a party at your event, well, we want to know about that and we want to celebrate you too. So it'll be a lot of back and forth, especially with social media and sharing
Right.
information and
You know you're from
context.
Westwood when? Out there on Facebook,
I
that's
saw that.
exploding now,
Yeah,
right?
and I Heart Westwood has really helped us, I think, pick up. We launched our Facebook and Instagram accounts the other day. Thank you, Lauren. I hope you're watching at home. We've already gotten a lot of shares and likes, more than we thought that we would get at this point.
Yeah, so that's really
so
good.
There's people are really interested. People are starting to poke their hands up and say, yeah, we want to volunteer too. And we're open to all suggestions. And if you can only have a little bit of time, we have a job for you. If you have a lot of time, we have jobs for you. So definitely contact us at celebratewestwood@gmail.com, and someone will get back to you quickly. Or you can send a response on the website, celebratewestwood.org.
Yeah, very good. Speaking of giving credit where credit is due, who's the chairman or woman of the
would say-
organization?
I'd say Lauren on the Celebrate
Lauren's
Westwood
going to
side.
get, Lauren Letizia is going to get credit for being the leader. There you go, folks.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauren.
Well, she's very organized, which I totally appreciate.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of ideas planned. We're going to launch a special social media, I guess we'll call it, campaign, 125 Reasons to Celebrate Westwood.
Oh,
Right.
that sounds
And
fun.
so, yeah,
Right, so
she's
people could
gen-
start calling in now.
Yeah,
if they're-
right.
Ooh, ooh.
I already said Conrad's, so
Right, yeah.
that's taken.
Oh, boy. You
I mean,
know-
we have so many great parks in town, and
yeah.
so many great businesses and social groups, and there's so much to talk about, even just people who are
Yeah.
known out and about in town.
Right.
You could do a Jeopardy type thing, 125 things you did or didn't know about Westwood.
Yeah, that's right. All right, that's right.
We're only limited by our time and how fast we
Yeah.
can type.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm super. I was gonna say I'm super excited. I am excited. I think it's gonna be really fun. It's fun so far already this year, so I think it'll just be a great time.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
We'll try to be multi-channel about it. It won't just all be on social media. We'll
absolutely.
do
Right.
Pascack Press. We'll do. You guys have been great.
WCTV.
Yeah, WCTV, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we
Come again sometime.
and we hope to come back and share more of the plans and everything like that.
And we definitely want our friends and neighboring communities to come and celebrate with us,
Yeah.
because we don't exist in a bubble,
Right.
We're in and out of each other's communities all the time, and it really what makes this part of Bergen County so special.
We
Right.
want to break down some of that home rule stuff. that
Exactly.
we're all-
Yeah,
No more
right,
road
right.
disputes.
Right. Exactly.
Right. I like what you had said earlier, Mike, and let's emphasize people are pretty much on the same page on this. People are working together and have the common goal, and that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things to be grateful and to celebrate. I think we have a great DPW, we've got a great police force, we've got, a lot of services in town. Our ambulance corps, all those people need to be. Speaking of which, there's the Westwood Police right there in
Oh, there you
1932.
go. All right. Vintage. Oh, I love it. But let's go through.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's-
there's the
yeah,
old Borough Hall from 57, is it? 19?
Right, which
Yep.
is now the
The fireplace?
Yeah.
I'm
Is
Is
sorry,
that where the fire
firehouse?
department is?
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
Pascack
There you
Theater,
go.
yeah.
Pascack
Pascack Theater.
That's
yeah.
great.
Oh, a
Is
real
that-
organ.
Yeah, and then I think
What is that now?
that is still the Pascack Theater.
They
Oh,
just
that's-
changed the
That's the movie
to
theater.
Westwood Cinema. Yeah.
Yeah, there was the picture earlier. Well, that picture is
And there you
great.
go.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's hold
yeah.
that for a minute. That was when the Beatles, what was it, Hard Day's Night opened, and they had a fake Beatles band on the
Yeah,
marquee
they had a
there.
four-piece band there, and those guys are identified in one of the shots. Everybody
Oh,
knows who that
gosh.
is, and
That's
you can
great.
see the screaming fans down on the lower right.
that is great.
That's a classic. Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we got now?
That's
Okay.
the other theater. Now, whether they were both in existence at the same time, but that's where the Gap is now.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was the Westwood Theater.
Yeah.
That's a great photo.
Yeah.
And that's Burkell's Market, which I think is where Oratani Bank is right now. Oratani Bank has a lot of historical photos inside
Right.
their branch when they opened up there.
Ah, Isaac Bogart.
Yeah.
First mayor.
Right.
Yeah. 1874, yeah.
Nice beard. Time.
Yeah.
And
Westwood
that's a
House.
corner I'm very familiar with. That is the corner of Westwood Avenue and Broadway, and that's in 1880, before incorporation. And they know the date because of the banner there.
Yeah, now that looks a little more familiar, right?
Yeah, the one on the top is about 1929, and then that's present day, more
Yeah.
or less.
Wow.
Some of the best window displays. I don't want to get myself in trouble with the other businesses. but
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know,
all
whatever-
we have is windows there, so they better be good.
Your old
They are
time posters, and I'm personally, I really love watching or seeing the Helen Frank pictures, but
Yeah.
that's another whole thing. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great.
My children appreciate it when you made it snow. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Mike is very good about hosting art from, what is it, in February, Heart Month, from the high school.
Yeah, we do. Well, that'll be coming up again. Westwood Has Heart. It'll be our 7th or 8th year. Pam Duffus at the art department at the high school, and it represents all the school district. Someone from each grade will be selected, and their work will be shown. We'll be selling T-shirts this year, as well as signing prints and note cards, and all the money goes to benefit Artworks, which brings around art carts in the hospitals. So it's been a great event for us, probably our most packed opening of the year. And so, again, there are just so many opportunities to interconnect with the community that,
Right.
you know, it's amazing that when you take advantage of one, all the others seem to come. Yeah.
You've touched.
Because that heart art is going to come over to the library
That's right.
around
Okay.
the time of our 100th birthday, so we'll have that. If you missed it then, you can come see it at the library
Actually,
after.
a bigger show, because
Yeah.
only 12 get selected, and it's a very tough decision to say,
Right.
It is.
out of maybe 200 entries,
Right.
who are the 12 going to be? And it's voted on by the administrators and the teachers, and I think the kids as well in the school. So more of those pieces on merit, in a way, get to be shown at the library, and we have another thing.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much talent at that high school, but also in the community. And you, in a way, you've touched on another thing too. As a person who's been on parent organizations at the high school, all I can say is thank you to the business community for supporting many of the activities and charity works in the community. You know, when parents go knock on the door and say, "Would you buy something for our program?" the merchants are always wonderful about supporting the community and the school.
I can
That's
say
true.
just in the short time that I've been here and some of the projects I've worked on, no one's said no.
Yeah.
I think it's rare to hear a no, and that's really shows how much not only the business is part of the community, but they support the community too.
Right.
Yeah. It shows a healthy business community too.
It's a big difference between us and Amazon, because you can't really knock on Amazon's door and say, "Remember all that stuff I bought at Christmas?"
Yeah.
Jeff
right.
Bezos isn't
No, I don't
kicking
think
in
he
anything.
That's right.
Well, that's true too. One of our shows we did here once was about patronizing the local businesses. We had the Small Business Administration people, no, SBA was, SCORE in here. And yeah, we'd like to promote that too, you know, shop local. It counts.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's in. You've got a campaign for library cards. Did you mention that at all?
Well, just in the, the 100 for 100,
Okay.
I'm wanting 100%
Of the
library
town.
membership.
Yeah.
There really isn't a reason not to have your library card. You're already kind of a member because you're already can be a library member. You just need to get your card.
Yeah.
So that's what we're promoting that. I'm very proud of our library. I think it's really worthwhile. So I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. All right, what did we not cover? We got to cover it. I think we've done a really good job.
I think so. Yeah.
We'll pat ourselves on the back after the camera shut off. We'll do our back patting thing.
Yeah.
But I do know that we have a series of slides that our control room is going to run. Ida and Rick, and who else is in there now? We've got everybody out working. I do want to give credit to the people who've put their time and effort into volunteering tonight here at WCTV. We have Nick on camera, we have Fred on camera, we have Shane on camera, and again in the control room, Ida and Rick. And hey, we would be nowhere without our volunteers, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Guys.
Thank you.
WCTV, Washington Township, Bergen County, New Jersey. And we're glad you joined us. We've got another couple of interesting shows coming up this month, hopefully covering a little bit about the special interfaith event that's coming up in February at Seasons. That's just going to be an amazing thing. We're going to have a Jambo preview, our traditional look at and seeding of the teams that are going to be playing in the Bergen County Jamboree in February. So tune in every Friday night. We've got something interesting for everybody. And let's turn it over to the folks who are going to run the slideshow and say good evening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily.
Fun days, laughed in that big old Buick, steer as we drove through town. Tassel my hair, say son, take a good look around. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. This is your hometown. In '65, tension was running high at my school. There was a lot of fights between the black and white. There was nothing you could do. Two cars at a light on a Saturday night. In the backseat there was a gun. Words are passed, a shotgun blast.